One of the harsher realizations that you're going to have in dating is that being cute does not convert. And now this is a word that pretty much every single man by now understands, that when you're called cute by a woman, it's basically an insult. It is not a positive thing. And if you are called cute and you have been called cute, you will almost have a disgust reflex where you think, why does she think I'm so cute? Because cuteness basically translates to, I don't find you attractive enough or arousing enough to consider as a partner, but you're kind of okay to me. That's what it really means. So in this video, we're going to break down some of the behaviors that are going to make you be perceived as cute rather than arousing, which is what you all should be aspiring for if you want optimal success and results in dating, because being arousing is like being sexy, right? And obviously as a man, you want to be called sexy and hot because that is a high desire word. Cute is not a high desire word. Cute is like, oh, he's cute. Hot and sexy is like, wow, oh, he's so hot, he's so sexy. Those are the words you want women to be associating with you, because this is going to give you the best chance of success in dating, like I say. So let's get into it. Now, for the purpose of this video, we're going to focus more on texting, because texting is where a lot of you will fall flat and not even get to a date, because I could talk about arousing versus cute behaviors when it comes to in person on dates, but most of you watching this won't even be at the point of getting to a date because you actually can't get the date, which is what I'm going to go through in this video. So with the texting examples, I will flash some up here. One thing you'll notice about cute texting is that when you're being cute, you're being overly friendly, okay? There's basically zero flirting, there's zero sexual edge, zero arousal. And that is your issue, because when you're dating a woman, you have to make your intentions clear, but indirectly. Because most men are either on one end of the spectrum or the other. They're either too nice and they're cute and they lack the sexual edge, or they're all the way on the other side and they are creepy and weird, right? Most of you will have probably experienced being called either one of these, but you want to be in the middle. You want to be the self-aware guy with the high social IQ who is able to hit the exact point that he needs to not be too strong, but be strong enough and show his intentions enough to where she understands, okay, this guy wants to date me. And ultimately, this is what's going to have you being labeled as arousing and hot and sexy, like I say, rather than he's cute. So in these examples, one thing you would have noticed is they're all very soft. They start by saying things like, hey, how are you? How's your day going? Right? These are all very qualifying messages. What I mean by this is, you are trying to prove yourself to her. Whether you realize this or not, when you say to a woman, hey, how are you? You're very attractive, anything kind of positive, you're basically saying, I feel like I have to be nice to you to win you over. Whereas the more arousing version of this text message is going in there with no formality, no kind of nice guy opener, straight to whatever observation or statement that person can think of related to the girl. Which is why in my coaching, one of the most used lines that I've given guys, and you may steal this if you want, is I sense trouble, you look like trouble. Because from the get-go, you are kind of encouraging this flirtatious, playful environment. Whereas when you start an interaction with hey, or how are you, or you are pretty, you know, whatever it is, why are you then surprised when you can't direct that messaging to then something more flirtatious? And that's when you get stuck in this friend zone kind of state, because you do it to yourself, and then she labels you as, you know, you're nice and you're cute, basically, but you don't qualify for a date. Whereas the guy she ends up going on the date with, he is not proving himself to her. He's not being cute, right? He's being arousing. And he's doing this by actually understanding how to flirt and how to tease. And this really, when you understand the definition of flirting and teasing, it's just play. You're in a state of play. You're having fun with each other. So you need to, from the get-go, encourage this playful state. Flirty messages and how you can be perceived as arousing. Now, you can steal these examples. You can also go to my description and download my free 30-page texting guide where I go through different examples. I dissect good versus bad openers, because you need to be good at texting. Whether you approach her or not, you're gonna, you know, have to text her to get to a date. And in this, you'll get some ideas as to where you've been going wrong, because if you aren't getting to a date, something's not working, and it's most likely the fact that you aren't arousing. You don't have a sexual edge. You're too platonic. And if you're still confused, the way to think about this is you're texting and the pictures as well you have, because these are really important on dating apps, on Instagram, but more specifically you're texting, it gives off a certain kind of energy, because your texting conveys a kind of obvious message, which is whatever you are saying, and then it sub-communicates something else, okay? So when you say, hi, how are you? You're literally asking her how she is, which you think's fine, but you are sub-communicating a needy, nice guy energy, because a guy who's confident, to be honest, he's not going to care or ask her how she is, because he knows if he asks her this question, he's going to lead the conversation down a very boring, friendly, non-romantic vibe. And the energy he will give is not a one that is conducive with getting to a date. Whereas the guy who does get to a date, he knows this and he won't even ask these nice guy kind of things. So this is your first kind of point of action. You need to remove the cute nice guyness, because you won't even realize, and this is more in person, but when you're speaking you'll do all this stuff. You'll not make eye contact, you'll be all awkward and fidgety. That's cute behavior. That's like nice guy behavior. The arousing man, he will look somebody dead in the eyes. He'll barely move. He might smirk from time to time. That's more arousing behavior, but that's for another video where I break down more in-person stuff. For this session, I wanted to keep it in or to do with texting, because that is where most guys are struggling these days. And yes, you guys will have watched content most likely on getting rid of your nice guy syndrome. How do you kill your nice guy? In my description, I will link a video from my paid community called Killing Your Nice Guy, which you can have for nothing. That will teach you some basic things that makes you a nice guy, which you probably aren't even aware of. But being a non-nice guy is not about being a horrible person. It's about understanding the energy which you convey, and understanding to convey more of this masculine, like alpha, right? Which is a bit cringe, but it is what it is, kind of energy, because that is what's going to get you to the date, because she perceives you as not a cute guy. And this is also why, if you're doing this, you need to stop listening to what women say they want. A lot of you guys, you'll run to your female friends or your family for advice on dating, and they give you the same BS advice. Be yourself, be authentic to who you are. But most of you, you've not earned the right to be yourself. You are not an attractive person in your personality, probably even physically as well, because you haven't done the basic work. So of course, when somebody, your friend, your family, says be yourself, be nice, be kind, be respectful, to you, you end up just exhibiting all these nice, friendly behaviors because you associate being nice with those things. When really, if you had a better understanding of what women find attractive from a professional, then you would understand that you can't be asking women, and most people, even most males, you can't be asking them what women find attractive. You need to be learning from people, and men specifically, who have advice dating lots of women and who have learned through trial and error what women really find attractive. Because even for myself, who has a girl, a long-term relationship, I would never ever go to her and ask her, what would you like from me in terms of behavior? Because the answer she gives is not what she really wants. It's what she thinks she wants. It's what she's been told to think she wants from Disney, from Hollywood. It's not what they really want, okay? And you'll do some digging around. You may eventually find the answer. But you either learn from somebody like me, okay, who's went through trial and error, or you learn the hard way, okay? Because if you have been going through these different situations over and over and over again, where you're being the nice guy, you're being giving, and it's not leading or amounting to anything, why are you surprised it does not work out? I did a consultation with a guy yesterday. I'm not going to give too much information because he'll know who he is. But basically, his entire life, he's in his mid-40s, he has been the nice guy. And he told me there's this woman he's been dating for a while now. Well, not really dating, but he says dating. Who she told him, I love you, but I don't see you that way. And he told me, yeah, but I want to see if things work themselves out. I want to keep trying. Translation, I have no idea. I don't understand female nature, and I have no idea how she really feels about me, which the proof is in the pudding. She does not like you. She says she loves you, but her actions don't align with that. She doesn't really love you. And this guy would go above and beyond to show her how much he liked her. He would do the washing, the cleaning, the cooking after he had done a full day's work so that she could spend more time with him. And she still didn't want to spend time with him because niceness is not rewarded with the kind of affection you think it will be, okay? Respect is rewarded with the kind of affection you want, the kind of love you want, okay? So you need to think about, how can I create this energy and feeling of respect? So I'm going to stop rambling on now. If you guys want to learn more, you have the links in my description to the free training. If you want to learn even more, you can book a free call with me and I'll go through your specific situation and give you a game plan moving forward. But until the next video, guys, I will see you all later. Goodbye.